As a professional service provider, I guarantee you're giving every client and prospect one of three different outcomes. Working with you is either a hot mess, your best guess, or a process. And the biggest trap that I see coaches, consultants, advisors, and other experts fall into is not knowing how to get your clients consistent, sustainable results. It creates this gap for your clients between what they expect versus what they experience while working with you. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to tell if you're showing up as a hot mess, a best guess, or a process, and what to do in each situation. Hi, I'm Jon Cook, founder of Keynote Content, helping clarify your message so you can elevate your impact, income, and industry street cred. And when I first started Keynote Content in 2013, I didn't have a proprietary process. And in fact, I didn't even know what that looked like as a service provider. I was so focused on copywriting, content creation, just doing whatever I could to get traction and provide for my young family. I was so stuck in the service mindset that I didn't think I needed a process. I was thinking, well, requests come in, I do the work within scope, and we do 1, maybe 2 rounds of edits if it's needed. I didn't think I needed a process because my expectations were set. But so was my income ceiling, and so was my level of impact. It also didn't create any type of reference point for those times when maybe a client and I, we weren't on the same page, we didn't communicate well. Without a process, my work, it wasn't referable, it wasn't scalable unless I hired this small army of writers. And so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and do that. I'll just hire more writers. And I took that step about 4 years into business, and honestly, it felt like herding this bevy of feral cats on LSD. It was just all over the place. We didn't have SOPs, we didn't have a process for every client to start and kind of head towards this definitive outcome. And the worst part was that I was dying inside. I had little to no joy in my work. I was sleeping awful at night, and my profitability was just minimal, just barely scraping by. And my team, they had no clarity behind a single project. Where does this fit contextually? And I made this realization that I was offering clients a great service, but an unreliable experience. Without a process, I couldn't give any type of greater value through like coaching or consulting. I couldn't show them how my creative copy aligned with their overall messaging and their goals. I couldn't package my expertise into intellectual property like courses and programs and training and programs and workshops and books, anything like that. I couldn't white label my approach through these licensing partners. I couldn't speak from stage with conviction to all these driving kind of factors and forces behind sales copy and messaging and content, and I didn't have any of that context. So for all those reasons, I realized I needed a process for my audience and my team that they could follow. And that realization, it started me on this now 7-year journey of having a proven, potent process that anybody can confidently follow. I call it the expert elevation method, and I'll share with you, it's on its 4th iteration because I believe in the power of infinite iterations. You can always improve and change and test and continue to up-level what you do and how you show your process. So I'm gonna share with you, here's a snapshot of what every client goes through during our work together. And at the center of our work is what I call your desired extraordinary world. This is greater impact, income, industry recognition, elevating your family name, leveling up your legacy. And inside this triangle, it's different for every client that I connect with, and it likely looks different for you. However you define the future, whatever you want to create, that's at the center of your triangle. But reaching that new reality, it just doesn't happen by accident. There's a reason why you're watching this. You're successful, you've done well for yourself, but now you're stuck. Maybe you're ready to take that next step up in your industry, you're ready to reach a larger audience, want to get on stage, you want to stand out as what I call a preeminent expert, but something's standing in your way. And while working with over 1,500 experts just like you over the past 10 years, I recognize the same 3 challenges. And the first challenge is that you're maybe sounding like everyone else in your space, or maybe you're starting to sound like everybody else. Maybe you're tired of how you talk about what you do, and maybe what you're looking for is everything I'm creating right now sounds like noise instead of an actual signal to my audience. Or maybe you're burned out. Maybe you've lost that fire for why you do what you do. Or maybe you're ready to kind of reinvent yourself and start this new chapter and you're not sure where to go first. So whatever the reason is, you're not positioned as a leading voice in your industry. That's the first challenge. And the second challenge that's maybe specific to why you're watching this is it's maybe your process. That if you have a process, maybe it's confusing or it hasn't no clear story for success. You either have a process, it doesn't work well, or you don't have a process. And when people work with you, it's either a hot mess or your best guess, but it's not a clear, consistent process. So both of those problems or challenges tie into the third challenge, that you're not talking with the right prospects. You're talking, in fact, with the wrong prospects. I've met thousands of amazing experts with genius programs who are packing their calendars with the wrong people. Why does that happen? Because there's no clear message that ties your expertise to a clear, defined outcome that resonates with the right audience. You might say, like, well, who do you work with? I work with people with pulses and income and people who have skin. None of that's definitive and it's kind of gross. So how do you work through those challenges? First, we take a look at your mission. It's not just why you do what you do, but why do you still do what you do? We focus on clearly differentiating your expertise based on your purpose, your market, that's kind of like the crowd of people that you want to serve, and your value. What do you bring to the table as far as skills and education, previous experiences, results, resources, your intellectual property, and all that and more. So we start with your mission because it sets the lens for how you want to see your work with purpose. And that perspective, that can fuel your fire for the rest of your life. When we dial in your mission, then we focus on your message, how you talk about what you do. So part of my background is therapeutic care and counseling for my undergraduate and my graduate, and now pursuing postgraduate studies in behavioral neuroscience to get inside the mind of audiences. What is your audience thinking and feeling, and what do you want them to think and feel every step of the way as you meet those exact desires with your products, your offers, your programs, whatever it might be? And we position your client as the heroic client and you as the guide in this storyboarded type of experience. And part of packaging your message in this context for your client is that we create your proprietary process. This is your step-by-step plan for getting consistent, sustainable results for your clients. That leads us into the third part of our expert elevation method we call your market. So we focus on lead generation and conversational driven sales that removes all of the sales yuck, all the sales sleaze, and then leveraging content and speaking opportunities to reach a larger audience. What does that give you? That gives you a steady flow of the right prospects that fit you and land on your calendar. So whether you're a coach, consultant, advisor, podcaster, trainer, some type of corporate expert, what it might be, your proprietary process is one of the best investments for your message. You will have stronger conviction. You will have stronger logic in any conversation with clients and prospects when you have a process. You will stand out more in your space. You will be better on stage with the right process. You will make more money, you will lead your business with a higher purpose, and you will elevate your legacy with a great process in place. Now, as you can see, my process, it's very involved, and there are a lot of moving pieces, but your process doesn't have to be this complex. Let's say it's a 3-step kind of back of the napkin process. That's super simple, but incredibly effective in the right context. So maybe it's not a 3-step, maybe it's a stairway, maybe it's circles that happen to overlap in like this Venn diagram. Whatever shape or whatever layout that you want to use, whatever name you want to call it, at least have some type of logical plan that you can show your clients and prospects on. You are here, and here's where we're going. Think of your process as the "You Are Here" sticker or that kind of star on the kiosk. Remember those things we used to go to called malls? They had these kiosks and it has a sticker saying "You Are Here." That's what your process is, and it maps out everything from there. This is essential if you want to scale with confidence and clarity and ease, because I guarantee you're giving your clients and prospects one of 3 choices when it comes to work with you, and we're going to dig into all 3 of those right now. The first option is that you're showing up as a hot mess. I will say, it doesn't matter what language you say it in, being a hot mess is not a compliment. So how do you know if you're showing up as a hot mess for your clients? You're probably asking, what's a proprietary process? What's a framework? Or you might say, you don't believe you need a process. Psst, you need a process. Or you're making these offers, you're making these different type of promises to your clients, and you're not sure about how to be consistent on the outcome. hey, you can sign up for this program. Oh, what does it get me? It could get you this, or this, or this, or we just find out behind door number 4, or 5, or whatever it might be. It's not consistent and it's frustrating for your clients and your prospects. Any of these are telltale signs that you may be showing up as a hot mess, just like I was years ago. And if that's you, the first step is to ask yourself, what is the one outcome that I want to give my clients that I'd be proud to share with the rest of the world? What's that one outcome? You've seen the value. I've walked you through my proprietary process, and the next step for you is building your own. I created a separate video walking you through how to create your own process or your own framework step by step by step. And the link's in the description below so you can watch that next. Follow all the steps just as I laid out in that video. You can create this messy first version and then iterate from there. The second option is that you might be showing up as a best guess. So using your best guess, that's slightly better than being just a hot mess because people at least know that you put some brain power towards their success. But I will say, using your best guess is still just as inconsistent as just making up your process or having no idea if you even need a process with each conversation. Your clients and prospects are asking, so where's the best place to start? And if you're showing up as a best guess, you're saying, maybe we start here, or maybe this third step, or maybe we try this and figure it out. Sometimes that works well, but at other times it usually ends with, I'm so sorry, it didn't work out. The refund will hit your account in 5 to 10 business days. Best of luck. You don't want to have that type of conversation. If your plan doesn't include certainty about where to start, what to do next, and what metrics or markers that you're tracking, you're riding on the best guess express. And if that's you, the best next step is to document and stress test what you already have. You're probably not starting from scratch. You're probably not saying, I don't even need this. You're probably saying, I have kind of an idea, which is great. So in that same video that I mentioned about creating your framework, I also cover how to document what you already have. Again, the link's in the description below, so go to the section about articulating what you already have and pick it up from there. So you know you're not showing up as a hot mess. That's great. You know you're not showing up using just your best guess. That's even better, but you have a process. But before we just assume that your process is good, let's give it a little bit of a stress test. What is a good proprietary process? It typically has 3 to 7 steps. It's usually sequential or at least kind of connected with some type of intentional flow. Each step has a unique purpose. It has this targeted micro outcome, and it typically has, I love having a set of FAQs for each step in context of that exact step. And your process probably has some type of memorable name. I hope it has some type of memorable name with this desired end game. What is that desired outcome that your process delivers for your clients? But as you look at your process, there are a couple different questions that I want you to consider. So if you already have a process in place, where are the gaps? What is the micro outcome that's connected with each step in your process? What are the most frequently asked questions for each step? Why is each step in its specific order? Are you missing any steps? Do you need all of these steps? If you have 15 steps inside your process, that's too many steps. Can you consolidate it now and have a streamlined experience? Stress test your process using these questions and let me know in the comments below, what did you come up with? What did you find? What did you discover? So again, and this is for posterity, so come on, be honest. Is working with you a hot mess, a best guess, or do you have a good process? There's no shame in admitting like, hey, I'm a hot mess. I'm not getting clients consistent, repeatable results. That was my story for my first few years, and it was okay to acknowledge that. But if I just stay in that knowledge without taking action, that's not okay. That's not serving clients well. But if you're showing up with using just your best guess, that's slightly better than being a hot mess, but it still is inconsistent. And your message and your audience deserve better. And if you want to stand out as a preeminent expert in your space, you want to create the income, the life that you crave right now, invest in creating your own process. And if you like what I shared today, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe to catch more of my videos about clarifying your message so you can elevate your income, impact, and industry authority. And earlier I mentioned that I made a video that walks you through creating your own process or your own framework step by step by step. So that video is coming up next. Hit play, and I'll see you there.